There's no better time in the year than right now as the conference final in both the NBA and NHL are underway. On this week's Four Downs, the panel shares their thoughts about the matchups, the impact players, and the changing of the guard. As always, we invite you to join us on our social networks at facebook.com/RBTL Sports, as well as on Twitter at RBTL Sports. Welcome back, Pierre Just. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
To your right is the highest scoring Canadian NCAA Division I basketball, Juan Mendez. You are back. We had you on 2 weeks ago, but there's a special reason why. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
To your right, David Hurley. Great to see you, RBTL contributor and one of my co-hosts.
Glad to be back.
All right, the NHL Eastern Conference are in full swing. The series is now tied 1-1. We don't know where it will be by the time the show airs, but one thing is for sure, Tampa Bay has come to play. They've lit up New York 3 times this season with 5 goals or more. Do they have New York's number as well? They had Montreal's number, now they've got
that
New York's
game
number.
On Sunday night proved a lot to a lot of NHL fans. I mean, Tampa Bay came out to play. When you thought New York was climbing back in that game when they put it to 3-2, Tampa Bay just took it away. Richards is unbelievable. The whole team in Tampa Bay is playing unbelievable hockey right now. Defensively, they still have some weak spots, but Ben Bishop has been playing lights out for them.
Well, personally, they look like they're playing with house money. They have nothing to lose. They're not impressed by New York. They've played them well during the regular season. For them, the first game was basically it was a chess match. We see now they know what to expect. They see the matchups that they're going through. They know they have to put pressure on Lundqvist and throw shots at the net, and that's what happened. Tyler Johnson had an incredible game, and that's more of that. They need to do more of that to have any chance, but it's very possible that they do it.
Are you surprised with the openness of the style of play? I mean, it's really running gun hockey right now. For game 2, I mean, that was surprising a little bit. The pace of this series has been phenomenal. Is that what you expected with these two going out?
I did, because Tampa's speed, so is New York. But
yet
Tampa
they have 2 of the best goaltenders.
They do, but I mean, look, the team that wins is the team that goes up and just goes at the goalies, and then that's what Tampa did this past game. You know what I mean? They just attacked Lundqvist, and look, they won 6-2. I mean, who's expecting Tampa to win 6-2 against New York?
Not a lot of people.
I said Richards, but I mean Tyler Johnson. That's who I meant to say. His 12 goals is unbelievable, and this guy, he's been. You know, when you look at a small player in the NHL and to be able to become an X factor in a game, how do you score so many goals when the other team has 6'5" defensemen all over you, slashing you, cross-checking you?
You can ask Rene Bourque last year. You
Yeah,
can ask Michael Camilleri in 2010 season where he had 13 goals, 14 goals.
Right.
There's the unsung heroes, and you're right. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's giving Tampa.
You didn't see it coming as an undrafted player. Mike Camilleri was a highly rated player. These guys are coming out of nowhere, and Stamkos has been inexistent, really, for up to his standards. He's been inexistent, and yet Tampa Bay is still being so aggressive, and they're being such a powerhouse that New York is on the heels of their skates. They don't know what to do.
Tyler Johnson's one of those players that just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So people don't expect him. He came in last year and played well, but this year he's like, you know,
the unsung hero.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
What's the one thing that surprised you the most out of this series?
Me, the thing that surprises me the most is how New York. We know that they have the pedigree to go deep into the playoffs and to get to the championship. But Tampa Bay throughout the whole regular season, throughout the whole playoffs, right now they get a little more confidence. They have more poise. And you're talking about who's surprised and who's not surprised. Steve Eisenman wasn't surprised. And Steven Stamkos being quiet right now, that's scary.
He's got a chance to blow up.
Once he wakes up, this could get dangerous.
If New York is going to do anything, I think it's going to come back to an old face in Tampa Bay, and it's Marty St. Louis has to step it up big time in Tampa Bay and get it with Rick Nash, get it going, because those guys are in deep, deep trouble, because that is the hardest place to win, and the Montreal Canadiens saw it in the last round. The New York Rangers will see it this round.
Another team that's in deep trouble, some would say, are the Hawks. As we come back from break, we're talking NBA Conference Finals. You don't want to miss it. It's happening right here on Reid Between the Lines.
Reid Between the Lines is brought to you by enconfiance.ca. Find your dream home.
Welcome back. James Harden might have been second fiddle to Steph Curry on the MVP ballot, but he has his sights on the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Can the Beard take the Rockets to their first finals appearance in 20 years, or will Chef Curry serve them a dish of defeat? Welcome back, Pierre Just, Juan Mendez, David Hurley. Okay, we talked about the NHL Conference Finals. Even better, in my opinion, and even tighter, are the NBA Conference Finals. What surprised you the most?
Nothing's really surprised me out of Golden State. Those guys are really going through the West like it's been nobody else's business. Chef Curry's got the shot as Drake says, he's got the shot boy. This guy can nail the threes like it's been going out of style. You saw it in the playoffs. He gets 6 steals, 6 threes in a game. He's the first player to ever do it. I think that team is going to go through James Harden, and James Harden is not even going to have a chance. I thought they would lose to the Clippers, but Houston, this is as far as it gets for them. Cinderella, it's midnight, it's over.
Well, you take a look at how they've come back, and they were down 3-1. They end up winning the series. How much is that going to spill over into Golden State? How important is that those first couple of games going to be?
It's very important. Harden has to come and play, and Dwight Howard, I mean, to me, is the X factor. He has to come out and just dominate, you know, those bigs of Golden State. Because if not, like he said, Golden State's going to take the series, you know, with flying colors. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Golden State's the best team right now.
It's just wishful thinking right now. If we're being totally honest, the Warriors has been the best team throughout the regular season. It's not a fluke. It's not a fluke that they've won over 60 games. It's not a fluke that Steve Kerr, a Greg Popovich disciple, or Phil Jackson disciple. He has these guys right now playing at a level that hasn't been seen in a while. A team that meshes, that plays great offense, that plays great defense, that has a point guard in Curry that makes everybody better, and they're just really scary. And I don't even think they've reached their peak yet. There's levels that it can go even further than that, and it's special to watch.
You take a look at the Eastern Conference Finals, and LeBron obviously is the one that people are looking at and seeing how much the East was competitive this year. So there's 2 teams left. One that some people predicted would have been there, and the other people expected to be there, which was Cleveland with LeBron. Do you think that this is an open shut case? Do you think that this is not going to go more than 5 or 6 games at the moment?
I think Atlanta surprised me. I never thought they were going to make it out of the second round of the playoffs. Playing Washington, and Washington kind of gave it to them tough at the beginning. You had hoped the answer, Paul Pierce, had sunk that 3, and it wasn't on the fingertips. The truth, excuse me.
He is the truth.
The truth that might have had the answer.
But missed by that much.
At the end of the day, I still think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be too strong. LeBron James needs to win this championship. Cleveland hasn't seen a championship since the 60s. The city is dying for something. And I think the prodigal son has returned for a reason, and that reason is an NBA championship.
Well, it's all nice, but now we're hearing that Kyrie Irving might be a little gimpy. That's a big loss, because if they do lose Irving, which I expect him to play, but if he's this much injured and he's not at this 100%, having lost Kevin Love already, it's going to be a tighter series than we expect, and that's in the East. Not even let alone what's going on.
Yeah, but your number one horse is still healthy, and people need to everyone else is B and C in Cleveland. 1A is LeBron James, and he's 1A in the NBA.
People have to understand LeBron James is the best player in the world. So if he wants to take over a game or a series, he can do that. You know what I mean? So for Kyrie to be in or out, it's up to LeBron, and this is what he needs to show the world and the fans.
I think it's going to be
prove, that he is elite, and then people could say, you know what, he could be the greatest player.
Put him in that same Jordan conversation. That's at that point.
I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than that, and I'd be curious to know your opinions about the bench. Because more on the East than the West, I think the bench is really going to play an integral role on who wins this series. Atlanta's bench, Cleveland's bench, who do you have?
I have Atlanta's bench. You have to take a guy like Schroeder off the bench. That guy's instant offense. And he spelled Jeff Teague in a couple games in the playoffs this year. He's an electrifying player. He's really good. And you take a Cleveland, their bench, Love being out, Tristan Thompson, now you insert him into the starting lineup. It devalues their bench a little bit. And these guys, most of them have never been in that situation before. And okay, LeBron James is LeBron James, but he is 30 years old and in his 12th year. That's a lot of mileage on one guy that you put into that kind of the scenario. You got to give the advantage to Atlanta for the bench, meaning the bench. Yeah.
I say Cleveland. Dellavedova, he's proven that he could come off the bench and be a great spark to these guys. You know what I mean? You have Cleveland. I mean, these guys are poised, and LeBron built this team for this moment, so he knows exactly what he needs off the bench. You know what I mean? So he's going to do whatever it takes to win these games. You know what I mean? He's going to give them an opportunity to come off the bench and work Not to the minimal.
When you have a J.R.
to the
Smith
minimal
sometimes coming off the
capacity.
bench,
He's the X factor.
You know what? This guy
He's the X factor.
can make nail shots and really give Cleveland that support that they need when LeBron's on the bench to really control the game. If he can come out and score 15 points per game, they'll be in a really good spot because I don't think Atlanta has a chance to beat them.
One team that was not in a good spot was the Russians losing to Team Canada, and they showed a little bit of bad sportsmanship. I didn't like that. After the break, the Pretender-Contender segment is up next. We're talking double IHF World Hockey Championships. Don't go anywhere.
Reid Between the Lines is brought to you by Pizzeria Cartier, the king of pizza. Visit us online at www.pizzeriacartier.com or call us at 450-667-6332.
Playing in the shadow of the NHL playoffs, the IIHF World Hockey Championships have gotten less exposure than a fourth-line grinder. Scheduling aside, is this tournament a pretender or a contender? What does the IIHF have to do to spruce up their tournament? Welcome back, Pierre Just, Juan Mendez, David Hurley. Does anybody care about this tournament considering what we've gone on in the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs?
I care. I mean, if you're a hockey fan, you definitely care. Listen, at the end of the day, not every NHL team has a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And there's a bunch of great players that are playing on non-contenders. Now, you give them a chance, and you give an international chance to these players to play in meaningful games. You get teams like the Edmonton Oilers, who seem like these guys, when they sign their rookie contract, they sign a double IHF World Championship contract because they're going to be there every year, unless McDavid comes to help them now.
Cold.
But you know what?
Cold.
At the end of the day, it's very true. And look at Brent Burns, who's, for me, the lights-out MVP of this tournament. He was offensively, he was gifted. Defensively, he was gifted. And this is the first time he got to play some meaningful hockey. As playing with the San Jose Sharks, usually out in the first round. And it was the first time they did something. They went 10-0, and he was amazing in this tournament.
Meaningful hockey. I mean, meaningful hockey.
It's very meaningful hockey.
Compared to what?
Well, compared to
Compared
not
to
playing,
what?
to not playing hockey.
The Olympic goal is still
drinking. They could still be drinking.
The
beer.
Olympic goal is still at the top.
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup is
Right there.
It's
Right
right there.
there.
Actually, some would argue that it's the opposite. Everything else doesn't matter.
In
terms of
doesn't
international
matter,
play. Sorry, say that
In
again.
North America, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Worldwide, in Czech Republic, in Russia, in Sweden, in Finland, this is a major tournament.
But isn't their biggest market North America? Would they not want North America to tune in? Imagine the revenue, imagine the backing, imagine the events, imagine the players if it was not scheduled at the same time as the playoffs.
Well, I live in North America. To be honest with you, I totally think it's a pretender. I don't care. The only reason why we really care about it today is because we won. That's right. We've lost for how many years in a row?
Since
like 5-6 years. 2007, and we haven't really gained any interest in it. It's a tournament that's done every year. I think it devalues it a little bit. If they did it every 2 other years, biannually, it'll be better. It'll be more interest. The guys will be willing to play in the tournament. I mean, everybody's surprised that Crosby playing in that tournament.
Truth be told, you ask any hockey fan, hey, you know what? We finished. What do you think about Canada finishing second and winning the silver? They're like, it's a World Hockey Championship.
True Canadians would say, you know what? If for a second, it's a waste of time of being in that tournament.
Yeah, it's not first or last, Ricky Bobby.
To me, this is a pretender only because it's like wrong timing. You know, if you put it somewhere along the lines, maybe in the summer, you know, maybe people would be in tune and you could get all the players.
Yeah, he brought up a great point about sprucing it up, right? So let's put scheduling aside real quickly here.
That's right.
What would you do to make it from a pretender to a contender? What can we do to bring some prestige to this tournament? You know, you talked about making it every 2 years. I completely agree with you. Maybe limiting how many NHL players can play on a team.
If you do it biannually and you do it in August. That's the best time before NHL camps start. You get some of these guys coming in. Again, insurance
People are hungry
reasons.
for hockey.
Exactly.
Right?
In Montreal, we know just as much as anyone is. We're talking
right.
about the Habs in the month of July, and there's nothing to talk about. We're talking free agency, and then after that, a week after, we're talking about potential lineups, who we're going to play in week 3. You know, like, so we're starving for a tournament in August. That would be the best thing for hockey, and IIHF would definitely succeed with extra TV revenue. You're absolutely right.
Is there anything else that potentially has hindered this tournament? How about limiting the amount of NHL players? I mentioned it before. Do you guys like that idea? For example, every team, every country can limit it to X amount of NHL players versus loading up a team.
How many Canadians are going to put on the team?
I think it'll take away from the tournament. People watch it because of the NHL players, right?
But is there not that purity factor to it? Would there not be? Could we not have one tournament where you don't have the NHL's influence, where it's actually, you know, the purest form of hockey, country versus hockey?
Then don't call it the World Championship.
Yeah, I don't think.
So maybe that's what's needed.
Because if you're calling it a World Championship, you want the best players.
That's correct.
It's like having a soccer tournament. Well, let's not send Portugal. Let's not send Ronaldo and all the best players, or Brazil. Let's not send Neymar because they're the best players. Let's have the scrubs in to have a better tournament, it devalues it a little bit. I think you need to have a better tournament, you send the best players out. You send the NHL players,
the best
KHL players.
on
But
the ice.
like David said, you have it in August where there's interest for the game. At this time of the year, nobody cares. There's playoffs, and that's
As far as I'm concerned, you guys are the best panel that we've had in a very long time. Love you guys. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for coming back. We're going to keep you around. I got a little something special after the break.
No problem.
Stay with
Thanks
us.
for
I'm
having
going one-on-one with a very special guest on my face-off segment. You don't want to miss it.
Reid Between the Lines is brought to you by Mansfield Athletic Club. Visit them at clubmansfield.ca.
Hey, what's up? I'm Tristan. If there's anything you really should know about me is that sports is pretty much my life. My favorite sports would be basketball, tennis, and breakdancing. I hope to make it to the Paralympics in either basketball or tennis, or if possible, both. And once I'm done with that, I retire. I would really like to be a sports broadcaster. It's called spina bifida, so pretty much, my spine didn't grow properly, and so my legs don't really work. They say, like, if you have a disability, you have an ability that other people don't have. Would be probably see almost everybody around me able to walk. I can't. I'm gonna prove to people that think that people like us are like they can't exactly do a lot of things. Pretty much trying to prove to them that you're totally wrong about it.
And prove them wrong, he did. It's great to welcome a very special guest this week on my face-off as I go one-on-one with Tristan Lessard, spokesperson for Pedal for Kids. Welcome to the show. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
All right, so if I understand correctly, your dream was to get on TV, and you told people that you would prove them wrong, and here you are. So you want to talk sports, that's what we're going to do. Let's focus on the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a lot of reasons why this team hasn't been doing well. Goaltending is one of them. What are your thoughts? What do you think about the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Goaltending is horrible. I remember halfway through the season they took Fleury out for, I believe, almost a month, and the replacement goalie was doing better than him.
Do you have confidence in Marc-Andre Fleury? Do you think he's a good goalie? Do you think, I mean, he's a proven winner, right? He's won the Stanley Cup, but do you think he can do it again? Do you think that he doesn't have the same nucleus, the same team?
It's kind of hard to say. Because there are some games where he's doing super good, and the next thing you know, he's just crashing.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes he's got a great game, sometimes he doesn't. And that's been, ironically enough, one of the things that people have said bad about him, right? That he's not consistent. But there's a lot of reasons why the Pittsburgh Penguins haven't done well. And most notably, it's very heavy on two special players, which is Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. How do you feel about Sidney Crosby? Do you like what you're seeing from Sidney Crosby? He only had 28 goals last season.
I've seen a lot better, that's for sure.
From him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but in the playoffs, first round,
no good?
No.
Now, if I understand correctly, you wake up every morning at 6 a.m. to watch SportsCenter. So you follow sports. I know you know sports. So I want to dive a little bit further in with our Montreal Canadiens, right? The Habs, there you go. You're rolling your eyes. I could see it. The Montreal Canadiens are a big deal here. And a lot of people say they were, disappointed with the outcome of this year's playoffs. What do you think? Do you think that they dropped the ball a little bit? Could they have gone further on?
Yes. What really got on my nerves was in Game 3. Last 10 seconds of the game, everybody on the ice, especially PK Subban and Markov just threw himself on the ice pretty much with like 5 seconds left, and that costed them the entire game.
Mm-hmm. So you think Markov's a big reason why the Montreal Canadiens didn't play well in the playoffs?
Not Andrei Markov in particular, because in the last game, Plek gave the puck away quite a few times in the middle of the ice, so that cost them big time too.
And when you look at Plex, you bring up a great player because a lot of people are very divided on Plekanec. A lot of them think, hey, you know what? He's a great regular season guy, right? You watch hockey, obviously you see him play game in and game out. But in the playoffs, I know he's a two-way player. I know he's shutting down the top line, but do we need more from Plekanec? What do you think?
Yes, we do. Because in the regular season, the guy can score, he can assist, he can block shots. But in the playoffs, I don't know. Could be the pressure, I have no idea. But he's not as good as he is in the regular season.
But you definitely see a change in Plekanec in the regular season, in the playoffs.
Yes.
Carey Price. Let's talk about Carey Price real quickly. He had look at that smile. Like I say, Carey Price fan. There we go. Here we go. Carey Price had a phenomenal year. Do you feel bad for Carey Price in the sense that he tried? I mean, he gave everything he could to that team. And do you feel that he was out goaltended by Bishop? Do you think he was outplayed?
Nope.
He was not.
He was not. It was just the Canadians on defense. PK wasn't giving it all. It didn't look like Markov either. It looked like they were letting loose a little bit, letting a couple of shots go by every once in a while, and I think that cost us.
And now a lot of people step up and say, hey, you know what? Whenever they lose early, they say, get rid of the coach, fire the coach, fire the coach. What do you think about Michel Therrien? Do you think he did a good job? Do you think he's got the team united? And do you think he's got them playing their best hockey?
Maybe not their best. I wouldn't accuse him 100%, but I think they can play a lot better.
When you look at the amount of sports that you follow, I mean, you follow basketball, you follow hockey, but you're also a big tennis fan, from what I understand. And Nadal is somebody that you follow closely. First time he's not in the top 5. What's going on with our boy Nadal? What's happening?
I don't know, but I have seen that in the last couple of years he's gone up and down.
Okay.
So I do think that he might come back, make a comeback, but we can never be too sure.
When you take a look at tennis and you look at how many great players have come out, Milos Raonic is obviously our Canadian. He's done very, very well. How proud are you to see a Canadian do well? You look at Eugenie Bouchard, Raonic. It must be a great feeling to see some Canadians do well, especially in tennis, because it's such an incredibly difficult sport.
Yes.
And is there any reason why you like tennis more than any other sport? Is there a reason why you follow it so religiously?
I also play myself.
Oh, very good. Okay.
And I find it really intense and a lot of fun. So I not only play, but I follow it, and I try to study what the players do, get a couple of little ideas on how to improve my game.
Okay. What's the last tip that you learned just recently? Was there anything that you saw a player do more specifically that you really liked? Was it more of an attitude? Was it more of a technical thing? What's one thing that stood out to you?
Honestly, I haven't seen it for quite a while.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure.
So what are you watching right now? What's the one sport that you're really following a lot recently?
There's 2. It's basketball and hockey.
What do you think about basketball? The conference finals are here. It's close to the championship. What do you think? Who are you most surprised by? Who's really surprised you in these playoffs?
No one really.
So it's been exactly what you thought would happen in NBA?
Not exactly, but.
So who's one of the guys that stood out for you? Was there anybody in particular? Are you surprised with LeBron James? I know you're a big LeBron James fan.
James.
There you go. I know you're a big LeBron James fan. Do you think that he's going to win this championship? Do you think he's going to go all the way with Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah? Is there any reason why? Is he the best basketball player in the world in your opinion?
Not just in my opinion. He is right now.
Oh, so you're making a statement for all of us. You're saying that he is the best player, period.
Yes.
I like it. I like your attitude. It was great to have you on. Right before we let you go, I know you're involved with a really special event. Talk to me about Pedal for Kids.
It's a fundraiser for the Montreal Children's Hospital. And what it is like you can donate. Mm-hmm. And if you want, you can ride this really big bike that fits 30 people.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, you're also involved in a really special event that's coming up, and I think you've got some details that you want to hand out to us.
On June 17th at noon, we leave from Phillips Square. Come out and join the fun and help raise money for the Montreal Children's Hospital. You can visit the website for more information. It's www.pedali.com.
So right before we let you go real quickly, we brought on Juan Mendez for a really special reason. I know you're a big basketball fan. He's been on the show 2 weeks ago. When I told him your story, he said he wanted to be here. So Juan, it's all yours.
Adam told me about a superstar in studio, so I had to come and present you with these two gifts. Raptors jersey for you. Here you go. And an NBA ball. Because you motivate people like myself to get up every day and be happy for what we got. And you're amazing. You know what I mean? You're my superstar. You're my all-star.
There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And not only that, but the network right here, EC Television, also agreed to make a donation in your name to the Children's Hospital. They're going to be doing that for you to come out here. We couldn't be so happy to have you, and they've decided to step up to the plate as well. Also, we're also going to be sending you to the Montreal Impact game for you, your parents, and a friend. They're very happy to know. A good friend of mine, Alex Cannell, stepped up to the plate, and they offered you 4 tickets to go because we know you love sports, so I know you're going to have a great time. And last but not least, really important, our title sponsors, enconfiance.ca, Wassim Labate and Audrey Hammond, heard about your story, and they said, you know what, we definitely want to do something for them. So what they've agreed to do is give you a check for $500 to your parents that they can contribute towards your education fund, because education, first and foremost, before sports. Ready to go? Thanks for taking the time, Tristan. You're my all-star. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
On behalf of the entire team, thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
RBTL road trips are fueled by Avis Budget Hotel 10. Cars or trucks, we strive to exceed your expectations. Every time. Pass by to see us at 2112 Saint Laurent, Corner Sherbrooke, or call us for the guaranteed lowest prices at 514-798-7317. Catering services provided by piattorustico.com, authentic Italian cuisine. Adam Reid's wardrobe is courtesy of Club Uomo, available at clubuomo.com. Salon services powered by Glam Atelier, La Maison de Beauté. Guests of Reid Between the Lines stay at Hotel 01, located in the heart of the show and entertainment district. Limousine services provided by AmbianceLimousines.com, Montreal's premier limo company. Reid Between the Lines is brought to you by Mansfield Athletic Club, the ultimate fitness center in the heart of downtown Montreal and Quartier d'Istrante. Achieve the results you deserve and visit them at clubmansfield.ca.